This Libra full moon landed in my 12th house, and let me tell you, it cleared some energetic cobwebs I didn't even know were there. What showed up in my dreams, in my reflections, and even in my feelings about people from the past, it was all a sign that karmic cycles are closing and new aligned energy is entering. Hi, everyone. My name is Madame Viv, and this is the Astrology Report. I will be talking about the full moon in Libra that occurred last week, April 12th. So, what are full moons? A full moon talks about releases and completions of chapters. It closes a cycle to begin a new one. And when we talk about a full moon in Libra, we dwell on the qualities of Libra itself. Libra is a sign that is ruled by Venus and it represents relationships, balance, harmony, justice, amongst other things. But those are main things to think about. When we think about Libra, we also think about how Libra is more of a we sign as opposed to its sister sign that is an I sign, Aries. We had a new moon in Aries before. If you haven't listened to my astrology report on that, you should listen to it because it will add to this report that I'm doing on the full moon in Libra. As I said, Libra is about we and Aries is about I. By having that new moon in Aries before this full moon in Libra, it would have started to initiate you, if you weren't already in that energy, it would have started to initiate you into that boldness and courage of putting yourself first, being assertive and setting boundaries. Now, with this full moon in Libra following up, it's then causing you to dive deeper and see other places where you may still be people pleasing, you may still be putting other people before yourself, you may have weak boundaries that you need to like strengthen, etc., etc. So, with this full moon in Libra, I would like to know what it is that you experience and whether or not my predictions are resonating or are as accurate as I feel they are. Okay. So let's begin with the general themes to expect with this full moon in Libra. The first point that I wrote here was balance and harmony in the Libra ruled areas and the house Libra rules. So, for example, let's say you have Libra in your seventh house. The seventh house is a house of partnerships, marriage, business contracts, open enemies. Let's say there have been some connections or contracts that you've been trying to sign on, or there have been some people you've been trying to work with, and things haven't been stable, or things haven't turned out exactly as you expected them to turn out. The Libra full moon would either cause things to close and end with those partnerships and usher in new ones that are more aligned, or it would give you what you need in terms of those relationships, like actually allow things to move forward. Any imbalances, any instability, anything that has been stopping things from moving forward in the way that you'd like will finally align to give you passageway into that chapter that you're seeking to enter. Or if you have Libra in your third house, maybe you've been holding back on how you speak. The third house has to do with communication, writing, travel, siblings. Let's say you've been holding back on the way you speak because you're trying to be diplomatic. You may finally release that aspect of yourself, especially if it's not authentic to you, and be more assertive and bold as per your sister sign Aries, okay? But when we're talking about balance and harmony, really, it's anything that may have been unstable before, anything that wasn't giving you clarity before, anything that there was a disagreement, anything that there was a disagreement or there was an imbalance, there's going to be balance in it. It just has to be. And if that means removing certain things from your life, that's what's going to happen. Okay. One thing that I would say and invite you to do is to allow whatever shifts that occur as a result of this full moon in Libra to happen so that I can see what can come in its place. A lot of times people try to hold on to things that are dead, not knowing that when they let go of things, better things come their way. And so if we're supposed to go back to talking about my dreams, as I said, I have Libra in my 12th house. The 12th house has to do with subconscious. It has to do with what is hidden. It has to do with karma. For me, when I also think 12th house, I think about dreams, wherever it is that we're not seeing or feeling in our conscious mind is definitely going to show up in our subconscious mind through dreams. So I had a lot of dreams around the time of the full moon. Oof, I saw a lot of things, felt a lot of things, saw a lot of people from the past. And for me, it was sort of a confirmation that, oh, those cycles with those people have ended, right? But the other dreams that I had were beautiful dreams. I spoke about new beginnings, a new cycle, abundance, new energy in my life, new groups of people, just different from what I've known. And that's something I should take with you. This full moon in Libra was also about karmic justice. Wherever things, whatever actions you've done in the past, whatever things that you've experienced, whether it's an injustice or whether you've committed an injustice, just know that the skills will be balancing. Libra is about justice, it's about fairness, okay? So if you're on the right side of history, you'll be getting your positive karma. And if you're not, you'll definitely be getting what it is that you're meant to get for what you've done in the past. So that's why they say balance and harmony. For me, because Libra is my 12th house, I definitely was focusing on karma. I know that I have a lot of good karma. I'm genuinely a good person at heart. So the things I've done in the past in terms of goodness that may or may not have been reciprocated or what's the right word? Maybe there was no gratitude towards those actions. I feel as though now my reality is showing my karma for that in other aspects of my life. So just think about it. So wherever Libra rules in your natal chart and with the things that Libra rules in terms of relationships and justice, you'll definitely be seeing balance and harmony there. Okay. The next point I made is people pleasing patterns, utilizing the boldness of Aries. As I said before, the new moon in Aries would have initiated you into boldness and courage and being assertive and setting those boundaries. This full moon in Libra is causing you to have more awareness or a deeper sense of awareness on the things that you've not been taken as serious or you've not been as aware. This full moon in Libra will bring that to your awareness, whether it's people pleasing patterns in certain ways, putting your feelings last while other people's needs are first. You don't need to do that. You're nobody's mom. Whatever it is that you're doing that may be on the less evolved side of Libra, that Aries energy is going to come in and remind you that, look, I was learning boldness 2 weeks ago from this Aries moon that we had. Let me exert those boundaries, that assertiveness and courage into cutting off myself from people that are not reciprocating my energy, from one sided relationships, from people pleasing patterns, all the things that are not honoring my higher self. I'm going to take that leap of faith and take the action towards it so that I can have a better outcome and be more aligned with who I truly am. So yeah, that's what's going to come up for you. Another point is completions of certain patterns and habits that no longer serve you. Just as I was saying with the people pleasing patterns, okay? The next point is conflict resolution within and externally. Like I said, balance and harmony. Wherever Libra rules in your charts, we have houses in the natal chart. Whatever house Libra is in, those themes, you're going to experience balance and harmony. And using myself as an example, because I have Libra in my 12th house, that balance and harmony is coming on a subconscious level and in the form of karma. Whatever it is that is hidden from me that I may not be aware of will be coming to my conscious mind, and I'm going to be reaping what I've sown on a deeper level. Okay, so let's say you're somebody that's been in mental conflict, in mental anguish, maybe you've been troubled. That Libra full moon is going to enable you to have some form of resolution, some form of balance and harmony that will cause you to no longer feel conflicted within. And as a result, your external life would reflect that as well. Okay. So ask yourself and reflect on the things that may have been making you feel imbalanced. You'll be seeing changes that will now make you think of how can I make myself more aligned and how can I soothe myself and balance things out within my life so that my external reality can reflect it. It may also be in terms of mindset, it may be in terms of your approach to life, etc., etc. Ooh, let me give you some tea. Like I said, full moon in Libra, right? I really found myself saying to myself that I call my energy and power back from places, people, things that may be siphoning it knowingly and unknowingly. I call my energy back, replenished, rejuvenated. I kept calling my energy back. And I kept seeing glimpses of people from the past, either stalking my social media or lurking in my dreams. And I was like, what the fuck? So I've told you before, when you call your energy back, it's very powerful. If you don't know about that, you should listen to the episode on protecting your energy. I think that's in season 2. So check it out. You'd really enjoy it. My next point, relationship revelations and pattern spotting. Some relationships are going to show themselves to you. They're going to reveal themselves. You're going to see certain patterns with certain people in your life that may have been there, but are more, they're under the spotlight now. You're going to be more aware of it. And you're going to ask yourself whether or not you need to tolerate it. You may find yourself approaching those people differently, or when you see those certain aspects of them that you don't like, you act differently for them to know that, look, you're not here for that rubbish. Or you start to see that certain dynamics that you had or certain little flickers of past relationships that you didn't like that people did in the past. You may start to see it in newer ones because you've experienced it in the past. You now know how to approach it in the present. All right. Be aware of those things. It's very important because Libra rules relationships. Your relationships need to be balanced. And as a result of that, the balance comes from you first. And you can balance out the skills by approaching things differently, doing things differently, responding differently to what you did in the past. Like, let's say in the past, you were more tolerant. You'd be like, no, I'm not tolerating this shit. I'm going to nip it in the bud when I see it. Okay. It's about changing your approach. What you did last time didn't work. So in this new cycle, even if you see flickers of the past in terms of relationship dynamics or just whatever things, traits or qualities in certain people that you're around, you really, really, really ensure that you set this record straight that you're not here for it, whether in your attitude, in your response, in your boundaries, whatever it is, you just approach it differently. That's what will come up for you. Last one, balancing of self and relationships. What do I mean? Balancing I and we. Like I said, the new moon in Aries enabled you to ask yourself where you can put yourself first even more, where you can be more in your eye, right? Full moon in Libra is saying that, look, yes, we're too much of we in these particular aspects of our lives. Let's bring some more I into it, right? But let's not forget that there are other aspects of our life where we can still continue to be harmonious with other people. But in these specific areas, I need to be very me focused so that I can pour from a full cup, not from an empty cup. Okay. So it's about balancing where you need to put yourself first more and where you can be more harmonious with other people. Yes, so those are my general themes to expect. So, like I said, if you have Libra in any of these houses, whether it's your third house, your seventh house, what you will do is that you check to see what themes those houses rule, right? Then you'd apply these general themes that I've explained to those houses. Main thing to look out for, balance and harmony, all right? Awareness of people pleasing, awareness of where to put yourself first and to, you know, pour from a full cup, and also where to assert boundaries. That's what you focus on in those themes, in the themes of those houses. For someone like me that has Libra in my 12th house and everything has more of a subconscious energy in that house, it's about whose energies I'll let affect me. Where is my energy being siphoned? How am I putting my energy? Do you get what I'm saying? For example, I caught my energy back from a lot of people and I could feel that tug of them subconsciously wanting my energy back, hence the lurking, hence them showing up in the dreams. Do you get me? That's where you even strengthen your boundaries even more. You get me? Not only that, I was also seeing signs. This is like from numerous people, not numerous, let's say three, but those things that I saw were showing me that those people felt that I pulled my energy back. And each and every day of my life, every day, you know, I always say I call my energy back from everywhere that it's been siphoned or it's been left. I call it back. Those are my boundaries that I'm asserting on an energetic level. Okay. And when I see signs that have to do with like past people, let's say past crush, I don't think, oh my God, does this mean we're meant to be? Mm-mm. I think, oh, okay, this is you just passing by. Those are boundaries. Okay. So that is me working in my 12th house, especially because 12th house is tricky and you can fall prone to delusion. But boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And so that's also allowing things to balance out for me because by calling my energy back, I'm calling everything that is from me to me, right? And I'm not allowing my energy to be siphoned and I'm not giving my energy to anybody that doesn't deserve it. Also, as I said, some people would, I could feel like thoughts of people coming back, and those are ways that in which people can siphon your energy when you ruminate on past experiences with them. Don't do that. Don't fall into that trap, okay? What you can do is assess boundaries by being indifferent. So those are my examples. Now I'm going to shift to journal prompts, okay? So I've written down 5 journal prompts for you to reflect on. The first one is, how can you create more balance and harmony in the area of life ruled by Libra in your chart? Exactly. So, as a listener, I'd like for you to pull up your chart and really sit with what themes that house touches. Think about your relationships, your career, your health, your creativity. Relationships have to do with the seventh house. Career has to do with the sixth house. Health has to do with the sixth house. Career can also do with the 10th house. Creativity is the fifth house, okay? How can you create more balance and harmony in the area of life ruled by Libra in your birth chart? The second prompt is, what cycle or pattern has recently come to a close in this part of your life? Oof. I'll talk about it from my own point of view, but take this prompt and use it to reflect on the emotional or energetic endings that may have quietly happened, even if they weren't dramatic. For me, as I said, it's in noticing certain inflections from past dynamics that may show themselves in current dynamics and nipping that in the bud, or calling my energy back rather than letting them be siphoned, rather than, allowing myself to dwell in the past, calling my energy back from everything. That's a cycle pattern that has ended, because normally I would not have been so aware of those things before. But now that I am, I'm like, nah, my boundaries need to be stronger on an energetic level. And I'm always practicing energetic cleansing exercises every day at the end of the day. And I love that, because that's real next level shift for me. So that's me. That's my cycle or pattern. So I'll say it one more time. What cycle or pattern has recently come to a close in this part of your life? Third point, in what ways are you building healthier, more balanced relationships? So with this prompt, I'd like for you to reflect on what boundaries you have implemented, what energies have you allowed in or let go of. That's a very key, interesting question, right? In what ways are you building healthier, more balanced relationships? For me, it's about showing who I am in my entirety, not in the sense of everybody knows everything about me, but aspects of myself. Like, for example, my default is happy, free, liberated. But I also have my other side, which is quiet, brooding to myself. By being in dynamics or being in group dynamics, I don't only show the happy side, I show the other side, the brooding side. Yes, it may cause people to feel a bit uncomfortable, but at least they see different sides of you, to know that you're not just one monolith person, all right? And to actually see your humanity as well. When people see you as happy, happy all the time, they think that, oh, your life is so easy. They may not see you as a person. But when you show other aspects of you, then they start to see your humanity. Then they start to see you as a person. They're caused to see you as a person, not just as a character or an avatar. So I think that that's how I'm building healthier, more balanced relationships. And I'm also very honest as well. I'm not being overly over accommodating. I'm letting people know straight up who I am as a person. And because I'm likable, you'll find that people would still like you, but respect you now, because I like you, but you're showing who you really are. You're telling me your boundaries. You're letting me know what you would take and wouldn't take. So I respect you as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing differently. Oof, I love these prompts. The fourth prompt, how are you learning to balance self prioritization? No, how are you learning to balance self prioritization with showing up for others? Are you people pleasing less? Or are you giving from a full cup instead of obligation? For me, I'm not going to answer this question because I've always been about self prioritization. So I'll say it one more time. How are you learning to balance self prioritization with showing up for others? It's a nice one to think about. The fifth one, ooh, and this was because Libra was in my 12th house. What subconscious beliefs about relationships, worth, or belonging are you ready to release? Ooh, because with full moons, any moon phase that is occurring, especially a full moon or a new moon, especially a full moon, let's be honest, it's really about the subconscious, what you can't see, what you can't feel, but is impacting you in your life. So, what subconscious beliefs about relationships, worth, or belonging are you ready to release? Now I'm going to shift to the tarot reading. Okay, and I have my cards here. I'm going to refer you to the live tarot reading that I conducted on YouTube, right? That was my first live. I did have a bit of a technical difficulty with my light, but you can still listen to it because it's a full 10 minutes reading, and the light issue was only like a minute, and it happened around like 7 minutes or something. Anyway, my point is that the card reading I'm going to do now, it's a separate tarot reading from the one I did on YouTube. It's not a follow-up reading or a short form reading of it. It's just an independent reading that I would like to do. Because if I'm being honest, now that I'm freestyling or channeling from top of my head, the vibe is so different. I'm still trying to get used to it and balance things out. So yeah. So I'm going to shuffle now and I will be back. Oh, love this. All right, so I'm back. Starting from left to right, we have the Five of Swords in reverse, clarified by the Lovers, the Page of Swords, clarified by the Ten of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, clarified by the Ten of Wands, the Empress, clarified by the Justice in reverse as the overall energy. So, Five of Swords in reverse talks about the presence of conflicts in your life, certain things that you've not said to certain people, certain conversations you've not had with certain people, certain boundaries you've not asserted with certain people. So that's coming up with this full moon in Libra. And the truth is, or the gag is, if you actually have these conversations with them, things will be so balanced in your life for sure. Because the card that clarifies this card is the Lovers. The Lovers talks about balance, partnerships, harmony, easy communication, transparency of communication, truthfulness, honesty. That's what makes the partnership work well. Okay. So if you're looking for balance within your relationships, it's about addressing the truths, having those clarifying conversations, because that will balance things out on a spiritual level, which will then show itself on a material level. So the Lovers clarifying this card speaks of balance of partnership. Like, yeah, you can have that. You just need to have the necessary conversations. The next card is the Page of Swords that speaks of being approached by people because you have the confidence to speak your truth and to express yourself. All right. So the kind of person that you are, you may have insightful things to share with through your words, through your thinking, through your perspective. So you're attracting people to you, new people to you. You're attracting more people to you if you already have been attracting people to you because they're drawn to who you are, how you speak and how you express yourself. So this is a challenge or a call for people that are imbalanced. Maybe they're shy, maybe they're scared to say who they to express who they really are, to show who they really are. This is what will happen to you if you allow yourself to take that risk and just express, speak, say the things that you need to say that you've been holding back on. And the card that clarifies the Page of Swords is the Ten of Cups, which speaks of emotional fulfillment, happy ever after, building strong, emotionally fulfilling connections, all right? Having your heart full because you're tending to your joy, having a full life that is emotionally fulfilling. I'm using that word because that's the main thing. So if you're seeking emotional fulfillment, if you're seeking balance in your life and you've been looking for it, it may come from you saying something, speaking, using your mouth, exercising your throat chakra. There are things in your mouth, there are things that you want to say, but you have not been able to say it. But that's really what's going to bring that happy ever after to for you and to you. So think about what it is that actions that you need to take now that would really benefit you for the next 10 years. It's like building a foundation for the next 10 years of your life. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune. Funny enough, some of these cards were the cards I picked for the live reading on YouTube. So definitely you need to watch that. The Wheel of Fortune talks about you entering a new cycle with this full moon and the cycle having an abundant outcome. You having fated events, certain events. Obviously, Libra has to do with karmic justice and all of that, meeting the right people, having the right conversations, and it taking you to where you need to go. But before you can really enjoy this abundant outcome that is to come from this Wheel of Fortune, before you can really enjoy this journey of newness, a new cycle, and meeting new people, you have to let go of the old. You have to drop the burdens of other people. If you've been carrying burdens of other people because of weak boundaries, drop the burdens of other people, projections of other people, responsibilities of other people, karma of other people. Drop everything that is not yours and carry only yours, because this journey requires a lighter load. You don't need anything that isn't yours or with you or on you. It's just going to hinder you from advancing and progressing fast. Okay. Overall energy is the Empress. What is going to happen as a result of this full moon in Libra is you being in your full embodied energy, or at least working towards it. You healing aspects of yourself that needed healing. You mothering yourself and nurturing yourself in a way that you haven't before. Because Libra has to do with relationships, but we never really talk about the relationship we have with ourselves first. So you are, let's say, you are advancing in the way you feel towards yourself and you see yourself and the way you treat yourself, because the Empress is a Venus ruled card. She represents the opulence, luxury, comfort, abundance, riches, security. And this is as a result of nursing herself. This is as a result of balancing everything within first, changing her subconscious beliefs that cause her to settle for less or doesn't cause her to experience the highest standard of things. Nurturing herself and her inner world in a way that reflects in her external world. So that's what the Empress is saying. Like, you don't need to do too much. All you need to do is change your inner world, and everything outside will reflect that. Okay, there's financial abundance, there's security, there's comfort, there's luxury that will express itself to you when you tap into that within. The justice is in reverse. It clarifies the Empress, and justice represents Libra. Justice in reverse speaks of you once again attaining empress status, which is like embodiment, which is sureness of self, security in self, and the ability to create the life that you want when you've resolved any imbalance within you. Justice in reverse talks about imbalance, injustice, disharmony. All of those things need to be addressed. All of those conflicts within you need to be addressed in order to attain that balance that you seek. So, full moon in Libra is bringing up all these things that are causing imbalance in your life in order for you to address them, acknowledge them so that balance and harmony can be attained internally and then you'll be balanced outside. Anything that you're trying to change from the external reality, all just needs to be changed from within. That's where all the power lies. That's what the Empress is telling you and showing you that this full moon in Libra will let you know that all power lies within you. As you shift things, whether it's in response, whether it's in mindset thinking, as you shift things on an internal level, everything shifts externally. So the power lies within you. That's what you're meant to realize with this full moon in Libra. A new cycle is starting for you with the full moon for sure. Let go of anything that is holding you back and speak, 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 speak. Okay? Have the clarifying conversations. You know, express the truths that you've been holding back and see how your life evolves in a very positive way, because you'll definitely be attracting the right people to you because you're operating from truth, and that will lead to a happy ever after and a life of emotionally fulfilling connections as well as an emotionally fulfilling purpose. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I will attach anything that you need to watch or refer to in the info box. If you'd like to book a tarot reading or an astrology reading with me, please reach out to me through my social media links. And my name is Madame Viv, and this is the Astrology Report. Catch you next time. Thank you and bye.